These are the best methods of owning a house in the city of Abuja. The first one is what most of us know. You simply buy a land and build on it. However, I want us to look at the risk level associated with this method. It is actually very high. So the risk level is as high as 50%, most especially in places like Abuja and Lagos, where there's so much of controversy that has to do with lands. So the risk is that you could buy a land that is not good. The title document might simply be the wrong one, and so you end up losing that land, which is why the risk level is as high as 50%. The good thing about this method is that it is always the cheapest way of owning a house in Abuja. And apart from that, you get to build the house according to your own pace. You're not under any pressure to complete the house within a short period of time. So it could take you as long as 2 years or even more to complete the house. This is always the best method for salary earners, particularly the lower middle income earners. They can best fit into this method. The second method is the buying into an off-plan project. So an off-plan project is a project that is still in the process. Sometimes the project is yet to commence, and for other times, it is still in the construction process. So you simply buy into it. Now, the risk level associated with this is 10%, which is to a large extent lower than 50%. This is because most of the time, the developer would have taken care of issues that had to do with the land. So the risk level is low. The risk level normally should even be less than 10%. But it is 10% because there's that possibility for you to buy into the wrong property. There's that possibility that the developer will not meet up with the timeline even after 2 or 3 years, which is why the risk level is at 10%. If you want to buy into an off-plan project, you should have a good knowledge of the track record of the developer before you go ahead and give him your money ahead of time so that your keys can be delivered to you at the right time. You're not buy a house and then sell it out immediately. I would recommend off-plan project as the best way of buying such a house. Now, when you buy at the off-plan stage, you get to make what is called capital appreciation on the building by the time it is fully completed, which is why the timeline is an important factor for you when it comes to buying into an off-plan project. This method is also cheaper, though the initial method is cheaper than this off-plan project. But when compared to this, the off-plan project is actually cheaper. Now, this method is best for business people who can almost predict their revenue over a period of 12 months or even more. Now, let's proceed by looking at the last option, which is simply buying a fully completed house. With this, the risk is very low. It is 1%. Normally, this should be zero, but it is 1% because it is possible for you to buy a property that has a dispute on it. You could end up losing the whole of that property. But the risk level associated with buying a fully completed house is very low. Now, when it comes to the total cost, certainly buying a fully completed house can never be as cheaper as buying a house at the off-plan stage or simply buying a land and building your own personal house. If you have the money, just go ahead and buy this house and forget about the stresses and headaches that come with buying a land and building a house by yourself.